Today, as we start this show, this one mic. We hail. There is a pause throughout the stadium as this man sounds like he just coughs up a lung. They're looking around. The Jumbotron shows and pans the cheerleaders, and as it goes down each cheerleader's face, each one breaks up into laughter, which at this particular time destroys half the stadium. The other half is still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Does this guy need CPR or something? And then at that particular time, I lost it. Devon's brother. Yes. Today,
Blog Talk Radio.
This show, this one mic.
Phoenix is another place. They got a great training staff. They were able to breathe life back into Shaq. And if you can do that, people talk a lot about their training staff.
Blog.
Yes. Today, as we start this show, this one mic.
Yes, today, as we start this show, this one mic, oh my goodness, we're coming up on the end, of 2021. Welcome to One Mic, part of the Rsg platform. Please go to realsportsguys.com and track everything RSG. But this is becoming emerged as kind of the anchor show right now on the platform. One Mic keeping it rolling, and we can't do it without the band. Right now we got the 3-person band. We had the 4 one. We kind of like the Beatles, I believe. We have 4. Now we down to 3, but we making it work. But I was on the phone with Hank, and we will find a way to get him back on. He's trying to make himself back. He told me let the people know he's on his way back. It's kind of like that thing, like who shot JR? Where's Hank? But I did have a chance to have a conversation with him, and so we're looking forward. Maybe 2022 will be the year, the return of the Hank to the airways. But without that, my guys and myself were holding it down. And so I'm gonna start with the young. He over there look like he real professional right now. Got the headset on. Got the looking like look at him. He's the producer of this show. He came with the rundown. He's doing everything. Now he got the headgear. What's up, man? How you doing, youngin?
I'm doing good. Doing good as always. I got my grandma in the other room as well,
Oh,
so they don't know we doing the show right now. So you never know what's gonna come up in the background. So I gotta get my headphones on, make sure we're as protected audio wise as possible.
Oh, I love what you're doing. Tell Auntie, give her a hug for me. It was good to see you this
Yeah.
past week, brother. But you holding it down. That's good to know. And then we got my man Hammer, South Sides only. What's up, man? How you doing? Chi-Town's in the building.
Nah, ATL's in the building right now, but yeah, Shotdown's always.
You down there where you
Yeah,
down there?
no, I'm here at ATL, see a
Down there with
family, man.
George,
It's
down there
great.
talking about
I beat that snow. I heard y'all getting slammed with that snow in the Midwest, so I'm in ATL. My friends on Instagram put out the snow out in Sun Prairie. She was clowning them, but she good people. But hey, you live in Wisconsin, you gonna get snow. So you ain't getting snow here at ATL, but rarely. But no, I'm doing well, man. It's great to be been here since Christmas Eve with family, chilling out, just re-energizing for the new year coming up. And new year academically as well as calendar year and sports year and the whole 9. So look forward to the rundown of the year in review, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be you. So we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. But before we get going, we want to thank our sponsors for this year in review, our good friends from Bowman Medical Group. Where they provide holistic services. Please go to bowmanmedicalgroup.com and get a sense for all the services they provide. They've been along with us on this journey, and we appreciate it. And Mind Match Development, they are centered on developing communities. Go to mindmatchdevelopment.com and understand the ways in which they are trying to change communities. We always want to thank them. They've been supporting us along the way, and it's really been good. For those new listeners and everything else, we usually try to break it down, and so we'll kick it off a little bit here with the back page. in our open mic session. And, this is an opportunity for us. Things come up in between shows that kind of catch our senses. And so we always want to get warmed up, and it's a little freestyle space where, the things that kind of be in front of mind. We have this active text messaging group. And so, folks are posting stuff all the time. So you never know what's going to come up in this conversation, because there's always things that trigger long responses. Some just sit there. And so we like to bring those conversations here to the airwaves. And then the cipher, from my man, the youngins got to set up we're going to do the year in review, 2021 in review. The pandemic is like it in the review, and it's really shaped sports. We thought we were coming out. It's almost like 2021 had almost like three phases. We were kind of seemed like we seen a light. We started seeing stadiums fill up, and then we're kind of ending 2021 almost like we began 2021. It's weird, so it'll be interesting to hear people's perspectives on these things, and then we'll drop the mic. And I think in the drop the mic for here is that what we hope and what we might think about is going to happen in 2022. So this is kind of thing I just kind of threw out here to the fellas, but using drop the mic to kind of look forward, and the thing that you hope, or you look forward in the world of sports in 2022 would be the way we're going to drop the mic. Usually all three of us participate in that as a way to pay homage to our brother Hank, who is normally in our, the elder statesman. He's the one who dropped the mic, but we just kind of do it collectively. That's where we'll end 2021 this year. So there's a lot on the coffer for us to get into, but we're gonna start kind of with our back page. So I'll start with you, Youngin, with you, Darnell. What's kind of been tingling here in the recent weeks or since the last podcast in the world of sports that you've kind of been paying attention to. You want to throw in the middle?
What's on my back page? It was on my front. It was on my front page. You know what's coming up this week? We got the double chin strap game. It's coming up on Friday. I call it the double chin strap game. It's Michigan versus Georgia. I can't wait. You almost counting the days to when it's going to happen. You got the best offensive line in the country versus the best defensive line in the country, and you got just like teams that pretty much mirror each other. I said it like earlier in the year. I think it was like week 2. I might have said it, but yeah, Michigan is like the Georgia of the South. But if teams think Michigan, they're not a team, they don't play SEC talent, or they're not like an SEC, caliber team, like as far as their defense and stuff like that. They're in for a rude awakening, I think. But this team, I think this Michigan team is special, and also I think this Georgia team. I say you'd be foolish if you just look at the Alabama game and just think, oh, this team is gonna come out here and lay down. They're playing for a championship. Dan Lanning's back. He's calling the plays, and he said it himself. He was like, I made a commitment to y'all, and he said, I'm not walking out on y'all. This is we got a championship to win. I got to finish what I started, and I think you're gonna see a hungry Georgia team, just like you're gonna see a hungry Michigan team, man. I just can't wait to see it.
Hammer, what's up? I think that's for me, that's one that's right there is on my back page, and it's I'm just praying that there's not impacted by COVID, and they all been trying to do the right things to keep these teams.
Yeah, local reports say it may not happen here. They're saying, this is Georgia all day here, the market here, and they're saying it might not happen, man. They're doing a lot of COVID protocols. Coach Smart, they're talking about it might be Michigan in the finals by forfeit. Real talk. So that's they're talking on the local media, local shows here. They're serious, man. It's not a good situation in Athens right now, and going to Miami and you hear the reporters is kind of frightening. I think, if I had to bet, they will pull it off, but yeah, they go
I'll tell you
Bowl today with Holiday Bowl today with North Carolina State. So yeah, my back page is cool. I was gonna say John Madden because of
Yeah.
You know, his iconic figure. But, you know, after Darnell taught it, it's got to be COVID because this Holiday Bowl being canceled, Wisconsin games in trouble. I mean, I'm not trying to be Donnie Downer here for our fans, but just real talk. This virus has gone bananas. And, you know, my cousin got sick up in Mississippi. Some knuckleheads from Detroit, you know, again, no distance. Y'all represent Detroit well. These people don't. So they came with the virus, knew they were positive, came to grandmama's funeral, kind of honor her, and then got everybody sick. Thank goodness it was the Omicron. Yeah, I know you shake your head like, really? Yeah, that's us. You know, that's my cousin's side of the family. But I'm just like, really? So it's just people aren't taking it seriously. I mean, I'm here in the ATL. Cats ain't wearing no masks. They ain't distancing. I mean, last time I was here, thank goodness, couple months ago, I went to one of my favorite spots that would be chill. That place was jumping like it was 1999, homie. I mean, it was like they were getting down, and nobody had a mask on in sight with me. I stayed there about a couple of minutes. I was like, you know what to do, Hammer. Hammer walked out the dome because it was just crazy, man. So it just, I mean, again, this virus is again, we know it's antithetical to our social beings, and you know, it's really caused a lot of strife, but it's getting out of control now. I'm seeing the reports in Illinois, I'm seeing reports Wisconsin, see reports here in Georgia. You can see as an app I have, you can see the exponential growth of infections all the time. I mean, you know, it's sad, man. I wanted to go to the Bulls Hawks game last night. I was looking forward to it for a couple months. And, you know, Zach and DeMar balled out last night. But I said to myself, am I going to be up in the stadium with some cats who I know most of them ain't vaccinated, about half of them ain't vaccinated? Come on now. I couldn't do it. I had to watch it on the TV.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I have my money ready. I have my Bulls gear. I have my new Bulls gear, man.
But go ahead, Darnell, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what I was gonna say earlier, but I'll tell you what, Georgia's not canceling this game. The only way they cancel this game is if they literally can't field the team. I mean, last year
they're in trouble of not feeling the team, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not.
They would have to have like 50
I'm here in local, bro.
I mean, there's no way to
SEC all day here. I don't know. You've been in Atlanta. I know you've been in Atlanta. You've been in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You know how it is down here. I mean, you got people up in the program talking about it might get. These ain't people selling wolf tickets, dog. They're up in the program. They breaking bread with Kirby Smart. You know, and
but I would say that's where this is going. If it happens that way, you know, there could have been one way to solve that, and folks continue to not
do a bubble. Yeah,
I believe you have something like that crazy happen because of the fact that people care about football so much. They're going to have to figure something out. But I think I'm with Darnell. There's no way.
There's no way in hell they canceling this.
Georgia's not showing up.
Ohio State had like 15 COVID positives going into the national championship game last year. They wasn't canceling that game.
But you talking about
the college football semifinal? They had like 25 positives.
And like you said, bro, that was no Omarion.
Omarion's weaker than the regular virus. So if anything, they'll play with the. They will play with the man. Shoot.
Well, I'm saying if I had to bet they're going to have the game, but they're doing very aggressive protocols to make sure the game is happening. That's all I'm saying, man. Very aggressive protocols.
I think I know now. Did Georgia go down there on? Didn't they leave on Christmas?
They've been down there. Yeah, they've been down in Miami for a week.
Yeah. So I mean, they isolate everybody. They're doing what they need to do.
Yeah, they isolate. I hope they're isolating position groups. I mean, Darnell coaches, you coach. You all play ball. They shouldn't be like Sirianni put the secret sauce. Minshew and Hurts. If they're anywhere near each other, someone's gonna get whooped. They better be way far away each other in separate rooms, you know. Because I mean, you can't have a thing like what's his name? That brother Hinton last year with Denver. You can't have that mess. That's crazy anyway. You had all the quarterbacks in the same room.
What I'm saying with this is, is what I told y'all last week. This thing is heading in a direction. Everybody's like, well, they're not gonna pull any crowds back. You starting to see they same thing we saw down. They're canceling games. They canceling. It's the money. The money can only take you so far. At a certain
Mm-hmm.
point, particularly on these college levels, there's other things they got to pay attention to. And
Mm-hmm.
these college presidents don't want. There's certain kind of exposure they don't want. And so that's why you see in some of this stuff. If money ruled, they would have found a way to play some of these games because these bowl games are another way to make money. But
Yeah, big
hey,
money.
at the end of the day, there's other responsibilities they got that's gonna cost them their job
Yeah,
if they put these
because
people in.
bruh, we break down, bruh. Like they talk about bowl games. If you look at like NBA, for instance, like a normal NBA game, like a Christmas Day game, it was probably about 1 million people. Every bowl game gets 1 million people, man.
Yeah.
Minimum. And because you got the people betting, you got the alums. I mean, my cousin's husband's he's an Air Force dude. They play Louisville. And he was doing errands. I was texting him scores while he was running errands. And I'm telling you, these bowl games are hot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hot on TV, they're hot in person. And so you're dealing with big money, man. Big money. And you're right. But the problem is, if you're dealing with big sickness, shoot, because like, I mean, you know, the big thing is getting sick with this Omicron. I'll stop saying Marion and stop joking about it. Is children, like pediatric hospitalizations are off the charts, like
off
40%,
the chart.
man.
I mean, and you got the number of kids who come to some of these events, and so you know, college presidents don't want to be in that business.
People with kids.
There's a line, you know that college presidents they don't want to be in that business of causing that. So, you know, the pros think about it a little bit differently, but these college games we got to watch. We have to watch to see how these things that happen on these campuses, and if these college presidents make decisions to go remote, then they start to be on a slippery slope in terms of who they can allow in their facilities. So it starts to change. So that's definitely on my back page. But I think you hit one. I mean, seeing John Madden, you know, someone who's basically, you know, tells the story of our lives from all of us growing up here. I mean, Madden from, you know, the time he was coaching as the Raiders, and then his, you know, most of the, you know, the young folks know him. You probably know him on, you know, his work on TV. I just, you know, something like that I just call Coach. You know, it's just, you know, as you age and find these people who basically, you know, were, you know, influenced, you know, you as you grow up. You grew up in terms of helping to tell the stories, helping to shape, you know, major events you had a chance to watch, but also contribute to the game. He was an excellent coach. And so, you know, just his passing, in my sense, just remind me of, you know, the other just deaths that we've had, particularly you know, in the sports world, that impacted. But definitely, you know, getting that announcement, you know, he's synonymous with NFL. I mean, players pay attention to their ratings on Madden. You know, they create a whole production and media kind of programming and branding or just around how these players think about who they are in terms of their ratings and stuff like that, and how they pay attention to who they are. So, you know, his impact on, you know, on football, on college sport, I mean, on the NFL, just but on the sports media landscape, you know, can't be, underestimated in terms of the impact. It's been a major impact. And so to have that loss, you know, he lived a full life. You know, you can live until 85. You know, we don't want anybody to pass too soon, but he definitely lived a full life. And so, you know, that's something that's definitely here. Well, hey, we coming down with the final days. Like the youngest said, we got some games here at the end of 2021 going on. And you know, it's time to kind of focus on and reflect, you know, kind of, you know, on the year in review. And so we're gonna go inside the cipher and uh and really talk about a couple things as we reflect on 2021. I thank the youngin for helping us to organize this, because when you think about a year like this, so much stuff has been going on that it's difficult to capture. And you got to figure out how you organize and think about the experience. And so, you know, we got some of our you know, our staples that we're going to talk about, that, you know, those of you who probably heard us do different variations of our year in review. We're gonna have some staples. We're gonna have some branding, some statements that just are synonymous with RSG, and then we're gonna have some more essential stuff. But I think what's great about the three of us is that we kind of look at the world through, sometimes similar lenses, but we all look at it through different lenses at times. And so it's going to be great to kind of get the perspective that y'all have on things as we start to reflect on this year in review as we go into it. We're going to kick off. The first thing we're going to talk about is the can't trust it of the year. Now, if you listen to the RSG, we'd love to have Game Changer on with basically the person who launched this in our big show. It has kind of been our thing. It's a lot of it's associated a lot of times with college basketball, because that's usually as we begin to talk about the tournament. We talk about our can't trust his teams, our can't trust his coaches. We got several there, but we're gonna talk about the can't trust it of the year. I'm going to start with you, Hammer. Who do you have as a can't trust it of the year?
Oh, Dusty Baker all day, man. Please, he's just a loser, man. I mean, he's lost everything. I mean, he can never win the big one ever. And no surprise, he lost again. Lost to the World Series. I mean, the brother, I give him credit. He's a great manager. I mean, he's done, but he can't win the big one. I mean, he's like the Buffalo Bills of Major League Baseball. Marv Levy of Major League Baseball. So, I mean, it's sad, too. He's a good brother. He's a guy that, is documented, got himself clean, got off the cocaine, stopped the partying, and, turned himself into a good manager, but he just can't win the big one, man. You got Carlos Correa, you got all these great players. You can't win the big one? I mean, it's just, I'm sorry with it. And, obviously I'm in championship U or city right now in Atlanta, but that team should be in Atlanta, man. It just seems like he cannot win the big one. It just cannot win the big one, man. So, like I said, hey, if I were a betting man, my money would have been on ATL all day in that series because of Dusty. I just hate to say it. So, he was with the Cubs, couldn't win. With the Giants, couldn't win. With everywhere, with the Nationals, they fired, and then they finally win a title. So it's just he's Mr. Can't Trust It. You look at the dictionary and can't trust it. You see Dusty's smiling face there, and smiling because he lost another game, basically, lost another series, another World
Dusty
Series.
Baker, we can't trust you, brother. We can't trust you. Youngin, who's your can't trust it of the year?
Christopher Emmanuel Paul. This year, the NBA Finals is pretty much set up. You had the things went down with the Lakers. Anthony Davis, he went down. You had Kawhi Leonard go down with the ACL. Klay Thompson got injured again in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? The whole stage was set for, of course, you had Jamal Murray, as well. The whole stage was set for the Phoenix Suns to capitalize and make it to the NBA Finals, and they made it. And the whole world was rooting for Christopher Emmanuel Paul. And just like Stephen A. Smith would say, what can go wrong will go wrong. And this game and CP3, he ended up injuring his wrist, his shoulder, and everything. And on top of that, you can't take away from the performance the Bucks put on. I'm not trying to do that, but at the end of the day,
yeah, you are.
No,
yeah, you are.
Well, first of all,
it's great to
if you say can't trust it, if you say can't trust it, there's always going to be a team on the other end of that. So it's not taken away from the team that won, because
that's a low blow, man.
It's not.
It's a low blow.
It's a low blow to Chris Paul.
The first time he hit in the championship, and you gonna call him a can't trust it?
Yes, he's 37.
He's had those moments.
37, and he took that team around one of the biggest turnarounds in NBA history.
He might have a lifetime award, because
Chris Paul
with
Chris
come
Paul
on.
is he's the John Stockton of our generation. But at the end of the day, there's always something that goes on. And you're talking to a guy who Chris Paul has been my favorite player ever since 2000 and like 2008, 2007, 2008. But
I
yeah,
met him in person, so so whatever. So I met
I
him in
was about to
person
say.
All
17
right,
years
so
ago in DC.
we got Christopher Emmanuel. You say Paul? You went
That's
to
his name. That's his
Yeah,
name.
you say his
so
whole name and stuff.
three. And I'll add on that. Mine is I'm going to another direction. Conor McGregor is on the can't trust list. I mean, every time you turn around, they talk about he coming back. He 1-3 in his last with a victory over Donald Cerrone. He lost twice this year to Dustin Poirier and just got devastated. But we still act like Cash is losing money on him every
He's the
damn time he fight.
he's the white Adrian Broner.
The white Adrian Broner, Conor gonna all the way in, and next thing you know, breaking the tibia and and everything else. Conor McGregor, you are on that can't trust it list. You don't cost people their house, their money. Half of your country, men and women, have probably bet on you and lost. People are in them bars drinking up their sorrows.
Well,
Conor
no, what about
McGregor,
that one fight though? He won. He started dancing the club though. What was that one fight? He what to do? He was up there dancing the club, but it was before COVID, man. He was getting it in, man. I was like, dude, can dance, man.
ever since he
I
fought,
like to dance like that in Scotland. That
ever
brother
since
was
he
getting
fought
it in, man.
Mayweather, ever since he fought Mayweather, he's been downhill on that. He been making money now, but
No, he beat that one dude. Who's that one dude he beat though?
Donald
He was up
Cerrone.
the dude. Who now?
He hit him with the
The
he hit him with
shoulder,
the shoulder,
shoulder.
got him out with the shoulder.
Yeah.
But he
Not
was
the yeah.
washed up. I mean, he's a gamer, but he was tailor made. He's washed up. Every time he fought somebody top fighter, he got put out. Bap. So he's on it. He's on it. Can't trust it. So I got him on my can't trust it. All right. Performance of the year, youngin.
Oh, this one's easy to me. This one's easy for me. The performance of the year was the Baylor Bears in the NCAA tournament. I mean, this team, pretty much all tournament, just it was a statement made, and it all culminated in the national championship game. And the national championship game has to be my performance of the year. I was gonna put the boxing, knockout of the year, and I was gonna end up putting Baylor on it because what they did to Gonzaga. Gonzaga's a team that was undefeated until the time they played the national championship game. I mean, this team was a team that had an excellent offense and really hung their hat on the way they were able to score. And when they ran into Baylor, they ran into a buzzsaw that was reminiscent of the 04 Pistons almost. The way they were swarming the ball, switching 1 through 5, and they were just giving you no airspace, and that has to be the performance of the year, in my opinion.
All right. Hammer, your performance of the year.
Well, I would say it's not there. I was there and saw it live. No, performance of the year was definitely Giannis Antetokounmpo's 50-point game closeout. There's no question about that. Nothing beat that. Nothing. I mean, the futility that the Bucks had since 1969, not win the title. Also had to go through with COVID. Now you have the reports that we almost had the debacle where the NBA Finals was shut down, and Giannis had close contact with Nunez and almost got sidelined. It's amazing. Giannis Antetokounmpo. My mind, why it's the performance of the year is that finally the heartland, because I'm tired of these ESPN, Fox Coastal elitists from the East Coast and the West Coast dissing the heartland. The heartland is a key and the crux and the strength of this country and the backbone of this country. And y'all East Coast, West Coast, want to be hot tubbers and clubbers and whatever, latte sipping elitists. Y'all saw lunch bucket basketball from the Milwaukee Bucks, and while we beat the Phoenix Suns, and you saw somebody from Greece who has come and acquired the talents of the heartland. He's not like these other European cats. This guy is heart and soul and grit. And what the Milwaukee Steel, Milwaukee industrial sites were about. And he's taken that city and become Milwaukee. And you saw that culminate in that 50-point just devastation, the defense, the passing, the shooting, he's the best player in the world by far. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Performance of the year, bar. And the Baylor game was a great game. I was there. Phenomenal game. Tremendous game, but didn't beat Antetokounmpo.
That was my performance of the year as well. I mean, anytime you're in the category with Jordan and Olajuwon, in terms of
you're doing something right.
you're doing something right, and so that. But I think both of those are great performances, and I give it. I had the same with Giannis. Team of the year. I'll go first. For me, this was good. I think there's a number of candidates, but I had to go with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and part of that is anytime with all the pressure they had to beat New Orleans. They had to beat Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, right? And then they had to punk KC and your boy Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the young was supposed to come in and let them know we're about to pass this torch, and as a team, it wasn't just a Tom Brady thing. Even though Tom gets a lot of credit, they did him in, sacking him 3 times. I think they intercepted him twice. They beat them. They beat them down, and they'll kind of put a cherry on top in terms of that. So there was a couple of I was looking at, but I just thought, man, given where Mahomes was and what everybody thought about it, and what the Bucs were able to do in that Super Bowl, and everything they did all year, navigating that, I gave it to the Bucs. Go to Youngin and then the Hammer.
Yeah, that was going to be my team, but I'm going to pivot here and go with the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Other team.
From the beginning of the year, when they won the national championship, they put on a display of the culture. We saw a team that Jalen Waddle almost sacrificed his career for the ring. I mean, I watched him in the pregame warmups. Like, there's no way in the world he should be playing, man. This dude is out here limping, trying to run 40s and stuff, and he just had to be out there. You saw Landon Dickerson take the final snap with a torn ACL. You saw just like that. You saw what it means to be a champion. I mean, they had guys like Surtain on that defensive end that who's showing exactly how great he is on the NFL level. Will Anderson, who's also taking that next step on the defensive end. But then on the offensive end, you had Mac Jones and Devontae Smith and Najee Harris. And this team was the team of destiny, and they've shown that that recruiting class, that 2017 Alabama recruiting class, was probably one of the best recruiting classes we've seen in a long time. And with the guys that had already went to the NFL, and the guys that stayed for that senior year, just like Devontae Smith, just like Mac Jones, you know what I'm saying, Pat Surtain, all those guys. Pat Surtain he was 2018, but man, yeah, Alabama definitely has my vote.
All right, Hammer.
Man, you got the wrong Bucks, D-Wells. The Milwaukee Bucks. That's the team of the year. Definitely. You look at the fact that, Budenholzer, there are times where, look at the adversity they overcame. Double D being out that was a huge blow. People don't understand. He was one of their key cogs the whole season, defensively and offensively. He was out, and they had to compensate. They could compensate. Drew Holiday compensated. Bobby Portis compensated. Budenholzer compensated. But there are times in those series where, even in the finals, where they wanted Budenholzer's head. Budenholzer was doing some questionable stuff. Their defense was down, but the bottom line is that they were brilliant. They never gave up because, again, they have that heartland work ethic, not this East Coast laissez-faire work ethic, not this West Coast smoke weed every day ethic, but the hard lunch bucket heartland, central, hardworking Milwaukee Bucks. That's a key. Industrial city, the heartland of USA. Stop disrespecting us, ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC.
Midwest, stand up.
The championship went through the heartland. And y'all talking about you want to come to Milwaukee? We didn't want to see you in Milwaukee. Stay in Bristol. Stay in LA. We don't want to see you.
I'm with you on that.
We want to see real fans of Milwaukee. We want to see the Deer District.
That's
getting
right.
it in.
That's it. Spreading the COVID up in here.
Now, people that masked up, it was a beautiful sight, though. All those people,
65.
all those people, well, they might have, but the bottom line, all those people, man, together in the
every time I got a colleague.
Not on the West Coast, not San Francisco, not Malibu, not the Hamptons. 6 and keep in Milwaukee in the hood. That's what I'm talking about. 27 and Forest Home, where my white brothers and sisters are from. Hardworking, middle class white brothers and sisters. My Latino brothers and sisters. On Mitchell. That's what I'm talking about. Real people, not these fake coastal elitists, plastic surgery people from LA, and these elitists, people that look down people in the Hamptons and Connecticut and Manhattan, all things like that.
We don't want to put you out there too far, but I agree with you. Another team that I probably would have put on here that I think people really have to pay attention to, the Stanford Cardinal, the women's basketball team. When you look at this team, they started out their season because of the COVID restrictions. They were playing games away from home. I think they had to play games in Vegas. They had to do a lot of stuff. They're traveling, and the thing about women's college basketball is a lot of them are playing top teams. There's a lot of top matchups. And you watch the way that team played and pulled together that championship. That championship game was a great run. But that's a team that I think, and then the Sky from Chicago, 6 seed coming out of nowhere. So there were some great team performances given all the challenges happening. I thought this was a great category. We could really go forever. I think there were a lot of good candidates.
Tara's first chip in 29 years, unbelievable to me. I mean, her last chip was when I was on campus. I blew me away. I thought they definitely won one in 2000. But that's how Gino and Kim Mulkey been doing it like that.
They've been doing it. Newcomer of the year. It's kind of a rookie of the year. The one I have, and I'll do mine last, but it's new on the scene. This one I got to give a newcomer one, but I'll go with you, Hammer. Who do you got for newcomer of the year?
You gotta go Justin Herbert, man, all day. Man. I mean, it just his star power, the fact he came, how the circumstances he came in was crazy. I mean, whoever that doctor was, I know Tyrod Taylor's probably suing him, but no, this young man really showed the poise. And, I'll be blunt. I really didn't have much respect for him. I thought he was a fool when he stayed in school for another year. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was a fool. I mean, you're a quarterback, and you probably one of the first picks in the draft, and you're gonna stay in Eugene. Come on, man. So I get a lot of respect. I think he's really gonna be a superstar player in this league, and so I was just very impressed. I mean, I was impressed with the Rose Bowl too. He got in. I was stunned. I didn't realize he could run that well. I mean, I read scout reports, but to see it live, but. Yeah, Justin Herbert really is the guy I think that is going to be a star. Obviously last week was, as my famous state was debacle, but Brother Cully. I'm glad for Brother Cully though, man. You need something because that brother had a hard year, man. But Herbert's my transition player. So,
all right, youngin.
My newcomer of the year or rookie of the year is Michael Parsons. Like Michael Parsons is a guy who can do it all. Like he can do anything. This is a guy that people forget. He came into college as a defensive end, and he's shown on the Cowboys that if he ever wanted to, he could be a full-time pass rusher. and he's also shown he can cover and he can stay with his speed. He can stay with pretty much anybody. Um, so this is a guy whose versatility is pretty much unmatched, and this is uh, something that we haven't really seen in 30 years. But this is a guy who could possibly be in that in that MVP conversation as a rookie, and
Should be.
it's not even like just hype. I mean, he's really producing at a high level.
All right. In mine, I'm kind of stretching this one, but this person just came on the scene here in recent weeks, and I'm just going to place her in a newcomer because she just shocked the world. And that's Juliana Pena from Chicago, Illinois. She took out the greatest fighter of all time. She beat Amanda Nunez. She just has come on the scene, kind of rose quickly. It's hard to kind of put uh, fighters in this kind of newcomer the way fighters are developed, but she came out of nowhere and shocked the world. And I'm just gonna give her newcomer. I am still reeling from watching that. That's a heartland right there. That's somebody from Shy Village.
Yeah, she ain't I think she ain't from South. I don't know. She probably Northwest side. She's Puerto Rican, right? She's
Somewhere
Puerto
over
Rican,
there.
right?
But yeah,
Yeah, she
somewhere
Puerto
over
Rican. She
there.
Northwest side, bro. She
But
Northwest
but
side.
but
But none below. She from Shy though. We love it all. We love them
she,
all. Shy.
I was that's a shock of the world, and somehow I just had to put her in that category. Um,
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's
yeah, I just
fair.
had
No, that's
like
great victory, man.
I'm still impressed and looking forward to what she's gonna do when Amanda Nunez
From the
is
heartland too.
yes, Amanda Nunez is a straight G, and when you beat the way she beat her, that comes that only you can only do that if you come from the heartland. That's what it comes from. That's what all them great fighters come
Mm-hmm.
from. All right, Coach of the Year. I'll go with it. I'm saying, and I'm going back to something that Young had said earlier. I just got to give this cat respect, and I'm just going to throw it out here. He might not be everybody else's Coach of the Year. Scott Drew. He beat a team that was everybody was talking about the Zags, and Darnell and I had a chance to watch Houston, who got some junkyard dogs. They didn't beat Wisconsin, but Houston's got some straight junkyard dogs. Baylor had some junkyard dogs who could ball. I mean, it was an overhand right from the beginning, and they just crushed. And if you think about it, he could have been playing for back to back because they stopped the season. He had probably had the best team in the previous season. And so, look, Scott, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you your flowers now. I'm going with Scott Drew. Youngin.
I was gonna go Scott Drew as well, but I'm gonna pivot and go
What
with
are we
Monty
doing?
Williams. I'll go with Monty Williams.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Monty.
Monty. Yeah, he did an excellent job with Phoenix. Him with conjunction in conjunction with Chris Paul, which I know he's my cat trusted, but he can be he could be in the conversation for my MVP as well. I mean, he for the things he was able to do was raising this franchise up. But Monty Williams, I think he did a good job of establishing the culture because Phoenix is a team with a lot of talent offensively, but they don't play a selfish brand of basketball. This is a team that plays almost like a college team. The ball never sticks; it always moves. There's a lot of player movement, a lot of ball movement, and Monty Williams, he always seems like he has the right thing to say, like whether it be towards the media or to the players. With the clips that you hear, Monty Williams is a guy. He always seems like he has the right thing to say. So he's my coach of the year.
All right, Hammer. Coach of the Year.
Definitely BA, man. I mean, no doubt. There's no one else. I mean, the guy brings in, a transcendent player. Is able to put it together in 1 year, and then also the up and downs he went through during the season. Bringing in Antonio Brown, not losing chemistry, in fact, gain chemistry, having him not clown. And also realize too that they've switched using Fournette and Jones on stretch and not relying on the passing and unleashing that defense. I gotta go with BA, man. Just the way they turned it around. They went into Lambeau and won. I mean, Tampa Bay, you got to give them props. I mean, all day. Yeah, gonna say they had to go. Yeah, they had to go, but it's not 1-11. I mean, he's a GOAT, but it's not 1-11. And you know, Tristan Wirtz, and I mean, it just Shaq Barrett, and just the defensive backfield, and man, it's just amazing. Winfield, and I mean, Murray Bunting, and just man, now that team just impressed me, man. Gronk coming back, and just a tremendous team, man. Tremendous. Dominican Sue, and just I was just so impressed, man.
I would say that's a good pick. I mean, I think like all those are really good picks for coaching years. I mean, we had a lot of good coaching because people had to really hold things together. We probably could have a long list of coaches. MVP. We'll go with Hammer MVP, and then we'll go to Darnell and end with myself as our last category for 2021, the year in review.
Giannis, because he plays both sides of the ball. I'm tired of these one side of the ball players in team sports. I mean, if you play one side of the ball, you play football. You don't play other sports. So Giannis is definitely if Giannis isn't on the Bucks, they're the Houston Rockets. I mean, playing. Now Giannis is definitely the cream of the crop, the most valuable player. Everything in the court he can do. So yeah, there's no one else but Giannis. There's no doubt.
All right, we got a Giannis. All right, Youngin.
Well, the last couple of times I pivoted, but this time we'll stay with it. I'm going with Giannis Antetokounmpo. This guy is a guy that has raised his franchise to their first ring, like Hammer said, since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was on the team. And not only he wasn't even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar yet. It was Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson. Oscar Robertson was on the team. And yeah, so the Greek Freak, he's just an amazing performance. He dropped 50, as well as playing excellent defense. I mean, Giannis is my MVP.
And I would probably go with Giannis, and I probably say it, but I'm gonna have my Paul Horning of the Heisman person here, Shohei Ohtani. When you are listed in terms of major league history books and your performance, given all the stuff he had to deal with early on, just about who he was and how some of the stuff he had to deal with, public stuff, but 46 home runs, 100 RBIs, 26 stolen bases. He's the first player in big league history with 10 or more homers at the plate, 20 or more stolen bases, while also striking out at 100 batters over 10 plus mound appearances. He was 9-2 with a 3.18 ERA, 156 strikeouts with 23 starts. Sometimes that's some Gale Sayers type stuff. Sometimes you just got to call it G a G. And I ain't a big baseball guy, but we couldn't go through a year in review without him saying this. I feel like we just had to say his name. I didn't know what category he was going to put in. I had a feeling y'all was going to say Giannis, and I just needed to make sure we had to put his name out there. We don't talk a lot of baseball, but damn it, that was good. That was a good-ass year, and I'm going to give him his flowers right now. And at a time where only little league players probably play both sides of the plates, and he's doing this at the major league level, got to give him his flowers. That's it. That's all I can say. But I'm with y'all on the Giannis stuff. I ain't gonna be mad at you, but I had to throw his name in there, especially since Hank ain't here. I got one half of Inside the Park. We got to at least throw a shot inside the park while we on here.
He's number 2, but he ain't Giannis. He's number 2.
We gotta get that Midwest love. I'm with you on that, brother. You ain't gonna get no arguments from me.
He is love. He ain't number 1. I mean, he's number 2. I mean, no chips, no nothing. So I mean, great stats, no chips.
I'm with that. I'm with that. All right, we go get into the drop the mic. We're gonna go give my boy Mo Red in Red Insurance Group a little love here as we drop the mic a little bit to kind of end the show. And here on the drop the mic, we're going to just, what we hope for 2022. Now that we kind of going out, since we might not see each other, and we'll text each other, but we'll start with the youngin, man. What do you hope for 2022, brother?
I hope for 22 is one thing and one thing only: Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford.
There you
It's
go.
time for this to it's time for this to happen. I mean, we've been waiting too long. We've been talking about this fight for 5 years. Well, it's going on 5 years since 2017. But yeah, this fight has to happen this year. You got your Dennis Ugas. He was he was almost in my conversation for MVP. He beat Manny Pacquiao,
Mm-hmm.
and he's fighting Earl next. But the winner of that fight is going to have 3 of the belts, and there's nowhere else to go. The winner of that fight has to fight Terrence Crawford. There's no excuses. There's no other side of the street. Terrence Crawford is a free agent. It is time to make it happen.
That is
So
good. That's a gem right there, man. I'm with you on that one. That's a gem right there. What you got, Hammer, for 2022? What's your hope?
Man, that we can get past this pandemic and it doesn't become an endemic, man. It's taking their half fast of our lives. Interrupted. It's harmed people. It's caused exacerbated, an opioid crisis. It caused where it stopped sports cold at times, almost stopped sports, threatening sports right now. You see, he's got every day somebody's, Coach Aaron's just got in the protocols today, so it's a frightening situation right now. Yeah, and it just the bottom line is that I mean, people are also exhausted by this way of life. It's just not their breaking point. Like I said before, I want to do the Bulls Hawks game last night. I just knew I'd be boo-boo the fool go up in there with people with no masks on and crowded. That just made no sense. But I hope we can get back to what we thought, because I don't know about you. I thought we'd be strutting right now.
Yeah.
No masks on, strutting. But no, we need double masks and do that. So triple mask, so we need to do that. But cats ain't doing that, so it's just especially with these winter months coming in, where people are going to be, especially especially in the heartland, be inside. I don't know where you are at D Wells or not, if you're in the Midwest or if you're in wherever. But my understanding, they have 5 inches of snow in the Madison area. I'm like, geez. So
I just had the vehicle out here. So you hoping that we get back to a normal space? We can get
normal space where I think nothing will ever be normal, because I think that we've shown the vulnerability of sadly the next pandemic, and the fact is 100 years ago, not to get political here, 100 years ago, we had more of a unified country that worked together to get through a flu pandemic. With this pandemic, you got people fighting and saying on their deathbed, saying, "Well, I don't have COVID." And they're dying. They're like, "Okay, man, you about to go anyway." But and so it's just, I just want to get back to we're not conditioned this way as human beings, and it's suffering. We're suffering that way, and so again, Joe Burrow broke it down after his great performance this weekend. Burrow balling, he's in Cincinnati. Ain't nothing to do. Ain't no distraction in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. It's in the heartland. We're not like New York. We're not in the club. Chilling with. We go. It's a boring place, Cincinnati. You've been there. Ain't nothing to do with Cincinnati. But watch the Bengals.
We're gonna go at that point. Hammer bringing him in on some grim stuff, young, and he bring him in with the heart down. All right, I'm gonna bring hope. I like your man. I was hoping for you got that. That was a good one. We get Crawford and Spence. I'm hoping for us as RSG folks. Youngin had a chance to be with me at the Mile Invitation. So I'm hope that we're blessed enough that we're able to get to a space where we can all collectively live together and celebrate. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but it's my hope that as a RSG community, that we'll be able to get to a common event together. We can sit on set, have a good time, be in an experience. I had such a good time, with Darnell and everybody in Vegas for the Mile Invitational. I'm looking forward to an opportunity in 2020 where we can get out and be in the space together and get the collective crew there, where we can have fun. And that's my
That'd be
big
great. Yeah,
for
that'd be
20
great.
where we 2022. So we'll see y'all on the other side. This is D. Wills, my man, the Hammer, and the Youngin, saying we'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Yes, today. Yes, today. As we start this show, this one mic.
We hail. There is a pause throughout the stadium as this man sounds like he just coughs up a lung. They're looking around. The Jumbotron shows and pans the cheerleaders, and as it goes down each cheerleader's face, each one breaks up into laughter, which at this particular time destroys half the stadium. The other half is still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Does this guy need CPR or something? And then at that particular time, I lost it. Devon's brother.
Yes, today.
Blog Talk Radio.
This show, this one mic. Phoenix is another place. They got a great training staff. They were able to breathe life back into Shaq. And you can do that. People talk a lot about their training staff.
Blog.
Yes, today. As we start this show, this one mic.